Today, the driver of an 18-wheeler, that one right there, due in court after 9 people died, packed among dozens more in this abandoned, sweltering truck in the parking lot at a Walmart. Apparently victims of a human trafficking crime.
Unbelievable, and lawmakers now ramping up their calls for, yes, immigration reform and stopping sanctuary cities once and for all. Here to react, Fox News contributor, Trump Hispanic Advisory Council member, Steve Cortes. Steve, good morning. First thing that jumps out at me is, what in the world is happening? This was in the San Antonio area?
Right. You know, Ed, what a terrible human tragedy. There were 2 children in that truck. And I guess what I'd point out is that border security is first and foremost an issue to protect Americans. We need to secure our border for the economic and national security of American citizens. But it's also, by the way, a very good idea for Mexico and for Latin Americans, because a porous and lawless border, which is what we've had for decades in this country, is also bad for them, as we see in this very human tragedy that unfolded in San Antonio.
Steve, are we to believe inside that trailer there were 100 people, apparently, and at midnight there was no water, and that's when somebody popped out and said, we need some water, or something like that. Are we to believe that that semi-trailer, where all you'd have to do is open the back gate to see 100 people in there, just drove in from Mexico and nobody stopped it?
Right. It's incredible, Steve. Now, here's the good news, though. I don't want to just talk about the bad news. The good news is our President Promise Keeper, President Trump, has largely already gotten our border under control. ICE tells us that illegal crossings are down as much as 70% year over year. However, they need to be down 100%, as we see again from this human tragedy. But also, it's not just a human tragedy. I think this is also a national security wake-up call, because while there's no indications that any of these people had any ill will toward the United States, that very well could have been a truck full of terrorists. It could have been ISIS fighters. It could have been anybody in there. If it's that easy to get a truck full of human people into the United States, we have a problem that needs to be addressed. We need a wall. We need ICE unshackled, which is already happening in this country, and we need to end the madness of sanctuary cities.
So is there an open door on the idea that maybe, since this was a truck, that if goods are shipped across the border, there are people maybe looking the other way? We think of the crossings, you know, going underneath fences and coming across in Tucson. Is there another loophole here where trucks with goods being shipped across the border, for 100 people to be in that truck, as you say, that could have been ISIS fighters in that truck?
Right. No, and listen, that should be frightening to all of us as Americans. And thank goodness, though, we elected a president who means it when it comes to border security. And again, things are trending aggressively in the right direction, but we need to continue. As this shows us, our work clearly isn't done. And by the way, too, it's not anti-Mexico to be in favor. You know, as I mentioned, this isn't just a tragedy of the United States. It is also for Mexico and for Latin America, where these people came from. I think mostly Guatemala and Mexico. Sometimes good fences make for very good neighbors. And I believe that will be the case with the United States and Mexico. We'll both be more secure and more prosperous, and we're going to protect legal immigration, which we all love in this country. We want people to come here. We are a nation of immigrants, but it has to be done the legal, proper way.
Well, this was just an unspeakable tragedy. It's awful. Steve Cortes, we thank you very much for joining us today from the city of Chicago.
Thank you.